So what am I actually doing right now? So my first job of the day before the kind of contractors get involved in here, my first job of the day is to check this newt fencing. I'm basically checking it for any damage or any holes. Sometimes people can just damage it. I think sometimes deer and stuff can be stuck in here and people sort of cut it. Sort of locals who see deer or anything else possibly trapped in here, they will cut it down. Or people could just be absolutely reckless and idiots and just sort of cut this and not really know what it's for. So I have to basically walk around the whole of this perimeter and check for any gaps, any holes, any damage. Because if there is just the slightest little hole, then obviously reptiles, amphibians, or even potentially mammals can come into this work area. So essentially what would happen, now I haven't actually found any holes yet, I've not been looking too hard, I've been filming more than I've been looking. But let's just say there was a little gap under here, big enough for a sort of reptile or newt to sort of come along. So what would happen, a newt or reptile could be anywhere in this area, or outside, sorry, we're talking about. And what they'll do is when they're trying to move around for food, shelter, or mates, they'll obviously hit this fencing, but what they do, they won't just sort of rebound off the back of this fencing and sort of go elsewhere. They'll actually move along the fencing, potentially until they find that little gap. So that little gap could in fact be a little bit of a highway for sort of animals coming in and out. That's why just a small little gap is quite important to kind of find and fix. Right, okay, so I have now walked about 95% of this fence line. And yeah, so far it looks quite good, all quite sturdy, all quite intact. However, down in this corner, ta-da, found a little hole. So this is quite typical, and this is kind of what I've been looking out for mostly. So that little hole there, it is certainly big enough. I mean, that's the size of my finger. It's certainly big enough for a reptile, snake, lizard, or newt to certainly walk through there. Possibly not a frog, maybe. Depends on the age. So what's happened is, get on the other side here, so they've connected the two strips of fence in here, so instead of overlapping, which would have been better, they've kind of just like scrunched it all together, which has basically meant down the bottom here it's all quite tight, apart from you get right to the bottom and you've got that hole there. And yeah, that's quite typical of this kind of fencing and exactly what I've been looking out for, so I will deal with that.